Hey, welcome to Your Pretty Pennies with Tara Jones. I'm Tara Jones, financial success coach, and I help women and individuals use their income to create the lifestyle that they desire by planning out how they're going to use their income, how to pay off debt, how to save for their down payment on a new home, or whatever financial lifestyle goal they have. And all this month, for the month of February, we are talking about getting debt free. If you are part of my community or been following me for any length of time, I already know your struggle. The one thing that you are focused on, the one thing that you wish you can get rid of is debt in your life. And so I took the whole month of February and spread out over all the days one little small topic that we can discuss to get you in the mindset and give you the strategy in order to pay off debt once and for all. And also, I would like to invite you to the Financial Reset, my 6-week coaching and support program. And what that is over the course of 6 weeks starting, it opens March 1st and we get started. The first module opens March 5th. The enrollment opens February 20th. So February 20th to March 1st, you can enroll and get into the private accountability group, find a kind of financial accountability partner, all those things. And from March 5th, all the way to the second week of April, what we do is each week we tackle a financial topic. So the first week is setting your financial vision and also setting your financial goals. The second week, we are going to be doing budgeting. The third week, we're going to be doing how to increase your savings and leave it there. Because let's be clear, we are very good at saving a little bit out of our check, but then whenever something happens, we have to dip into our savings, right? So I help you overcome and give you the step-by-step strategy on how to overcome that. And the first week is is financial vision. Second week is budgeting. The third week is savings. The fourth week is debt repayment. The fifth week is credit repair. The sixth week is how to shop for insurances to make sure you are covering yourself financially and removing all financial risk from over your head. All right. So if your goal is to get debt free anytime soon, you definitely need to be in that. And you can click the link in the caption or in the description box. And it's bit.ly/the financial reset and join the wait list because they are the first ones to get in and to enroll. So it pays to be on the wait list. It pays to be on the little VIP list. But all right, so today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of getting out of debt, right? Again, because everybody who goes through the financial reset, I'm priming you and prepping you and preparing your mindset and wrapping your mindset around money going forth because this is key. And I understand we didn't get taught all of this stuff, right? If you know anything about me, I had to learn 99.9% of the things I've taught you over the last 8 years on my own. Right? I went from being a struggling single parent to going to college, getting a degree in finance, doing my own debt-free journey and building wealth. And so now I'm sharing these tips with you and now I'm helping you and I'm coaching you and I'm moving you along and holding you accountable. And so that's what we do in the financial reset. Not only do you walk through the course with other women, you walk through it with me. You get Q&A calls. We do check-ins. We get to ask and answer questions like on the spot. So that is what you need. And the first thing you need to do whenever you're going to think about paying off debt and becoming debt free is understanding that if you want a credit score or if you have any type of credit score, that is debt, right? That means you are utilizing debt. So I have to take a step back and make this clarification because there's a disconnect there, right? People are like, I want a high credit score, but I also want to be debt free. If you are completely debt-free at any point in time, that means that you don't have a credit score, right? But if you want to learn how to utilize credit to where at any point in time you do have lines of credit open in your name, but you don't have any money on them at that point, you know, because you use your credit card and immediately pay it off. You use the other thing you have is a mortgage and you get a mortgage and you immediately pay it off. That's the strategy that I'm trying to teach my community. So the pros and cons, and before I get into the pros and cons, realize that if you are going to utilize your credit score, if you want a high credit score, that does mean that you do have open lines of credit. Right? And open lines of credit does mean you are in debt if you hold a balance. So as we go through this, realize that I'm not saying not to get a mortgage, because I approve of mortgages, because who just got money laying around to just pay $300,000 on a home? And nobody wants to wait until they're 40 or 50 or 60 to, do that with cash. It can be done, but that's an advantage. That's one of the pros, actually, we're going to get into. But so the reason why I go through this is because it's like, okay, yes, you need to learn how to manage and leverage credit, not let it sabotage you, right? There's a difference. So we're going to get into that. So the pro number one that I have for you today is it extends your purchasing power, so you are able to purchase a newer home or a car, right? So if you want a mortgage loan, or if you need an auto loan to get a better car, it allows you to do that. And commonly, that's what people use their lines of credit for. That's what they use their credit for. And I got to say this, you can use, you can buy a mortgage. You can get a mortgage loan in your name without having credit, or without having like with a 0 credit score, not like low credit score. So 400 means you still have a credit score. It means you manage money poorly. A high credit score means you manage debt and you manage it well, right? So you can get a mortgage loan, not an auto loan, a mortgage loan with a 0 credit score, which means you do not utilize any credit. There's no lines of credit in your name. You have to get it manually underwritten, and it takes a little bit more time, but that is possible. So I have to throw that out there. So number one, the pro is majority of people, they like to get mortgage loans and auto loans, and that is a pro for opening credit for being in debt, right? Now, do I condone credit card or debt auto loans? No. Do I condone mortgage loans? Yes. But it is what it is. I'm just giving you the facts. It does extend your purchasing power. Number two, it potentially can increase your credit score, right? So one of the major factors when you think about a credit score is the fact that you have to use credit in order to get a higher credit score. You can't just have one line of credit or 2 lines of credit and just open them and think you're going to have a spectacular credit score. That's not how it works. Literally, what your credit score is saying is that you manage debt well. You manage borrowed money well. It does not say you manage your money well. It does not say you have a large income. It does not say that you are on track to be financially free or anything else. Literally, all it means, your credit score, all that means is that you manage debt well. Right? And so one of the pros of managing debt well is being able to have more lended to you, hence the low interest mortgage, right? As you all know, one of my financial goals right now is to get a low interest mortgage on a home, but I'm saving up like 40% of my down payment for my first home. So that's my current goal right now, right? And so if I take out a mortgage loan, the reason why I'm leveraging lines of credit right now is to maintain a high credit score so I can get a low interest mortgage, right? So number two, it increases your credit score. The more you use debt well, right? Not using debt poorly, the more you're able to manage debt well, which means you pay on time, which means you're not using too much at one time. Different type, you have more than one type. You have like a nice portfolio of lines of credit open, then that means you'll have a higher credit score. And what does a higher credit score lead? Lower interest rates. Right? So if you get a mortgage loan or auto loan, again, I don't condone auto loans, but I also don't tell people what to do. I just advise, right? I just coach you and tell you what, and advise what you should do. But you will get a lower interest rate if you have a higher credit score, because you have a track record of managing debt well. Again, that does not mean that you will have the income to sustain it, and that's where people get mixed up and get hurt at, is because they get approved for an auto loan, get approved for a mortgage loan, get approved for a credit card, but they don't have the income nor the financial discipline to manage the debt well in order to maintain a high credit score and not sabotage it. Right? So number three, you get to earn rewards, right? So a lot of people, they love getting credit cards that has the cash back or the miles or in-store rebate or airline miles, or, you get points to shop at your favorite store. If you shop at if you put this much on your card, you get this much points back. That is a great reward. People do well with, racking up the little miles or racking up points or getting the cash back, the 1%, 2%, 5% cash back. So that is a reward of having a credit card, which essentially is going into debt, right? All right, the number 4 pro is convenience. Having a credit card handy when you have like a financial emergency is convenient, or when something comes up and you really weren't planning to pay for it and you pay for it with your credit card, or whatever, or if you need a personal loan because something happened, it's convenient, right? And typically that's what most Americans think. Now I'm trying to play the devil's advocate here, because it's not just like debt and credit is not bad, right? Oftentimes people want to put it in a light like it's bad, right? No, it's just that how you manage it, or the lack of management, is what makes it bad or good, right? So if you are great at managing money and you know the pros and cons, if you're great at managing debt and you know your pros and cons, therefore you can be able to use it and leverage it without it sabotaging you. But if you don't know all of the things that you need to know before you take out a line of credit, before you take out a credit card, before you get a personal loan, before you get an auto loan, before you get a mortgage, that is when it becomes bad, and it turns and it backfires on you, right? So that's why I'm giving you pros and cons of being debt free, pros and cons of utilizing debt, right? So, yeah, back to the convenience. Again, a lot of people think it's very convenient. And not to mention, if you use cash for everything, you can't really online shop because you don't have a credit card. I mean, you could put it on a debit card, whatever nowadays. But, to some people, credit card is very handy. Credit card is very convenient. When you're renting cars, when you're paying for a hotel, things like that is very convenient, right? And most of those places, they require a major credit card, and that's why they have them. All right, so now I'm going to turn the leaf, because this is where I play in, right? So a lot of people, the things that I just gave you, the convenience, the high credit score, the purchasing power, and things like that, and the rewards, that's how most Americans think, right? When they think of, oh, somebody's going to give me a line of credit, yay, this will allow me to do this, this, and this, right? But they don't think about the thin line that they're straddling, because the cons are just as heavy as the pros, right? So the advantages are great, but you are at risk of financial ruin if you don't think about the cons while you're thinking about the pros. And that's the point of this video. So let's go through the cons, right? So number 1, it destroys your financial discipline and your delayed gratification muscles. So whenever you take out a line of credit just because something is in your face, you're basically training yourself to get everything you want now, to never have any restraint. And financial success is a journey. It's a consistent journey. It's not something that you arrive at and then you're done. It's not something that you attain. Oh, okay, I'm financially free. Okay, I'm done. No, you have to maintain it. It's something that you do all the time. And so as you're becoming debt free, as you are thinking about these things, like whether or not I should have a credit card, whether or not I should take out a mortgage, whether or not I should take out an auto loan, you have to think to yourself, is this going against the financial discipline and the delayed gratification muscles I'm supposed to be building? Because as I get further along in my financial journey, it's going to be harder to maintain my financial success because things get a lot realer, right? For example, let's say right now, if you have an adequate amount of income and you double your income, that's double the enticement, double the, what is the word I'm looking for? You are like, what's the word? You are like fighting to not spend that money, right? Like you don't get more money and say, no, I'm going to save it. The habits that you had when you made this amount is going to be the same habits that you have later. So if you don't develop good habits and learn how to be financially disciplined and say, no, I'm going to have a plan for everything, it don't matter if you have $1,000 in disposable income or if you have 6, you're going to blow it, right? And so what I'm saying is that the pressure is going to be on as you get further along your financial journey because you free up income, right? When you become debt free and you not have any monthly payments, right? You don't have when you pay off your mortgage, when you pay off your student loans, when you pay off that auto loan, and the only thing you have is a credit card in your name that's building your credit, right? Or you may have a mortgage and that's it. But you have all this extra income a month. You don't think you're going to be what is the word I'm looking for? I cannot think of it. You tempted. There we go. Hello. You don't think you're going to be tempted to spend that extra cash because it's extra, right? So you have to develop financial discipline right now. And unfortunately, the access to credit lines, it goes against that unless you are mentally you are aware of how to manage them, right? So you should always be using lines of credit if you're going to use them in moderation and with a plan, right? So for me, the only lines of credit that I plan on using from here on out is a mortgage loan and a credit card. And the credit card is because it's a different type. So a mortgage loan is an installment loan. A credit card is a revolving credit. How I manage my credit is I use it one time a month, put $20 on it. That's it. And I pay it off. That's it. I don't put no more. I don't go shopping. It's not my emergency fund. It's not my emergency money, anything like that. Then the second thing I want to have is a mortgage. And I'm paying that off as quickly as possible. And the reason why I personally agree that you can use a mortgage is because you can leverage it, right? If you do it right, you buy a home, you get a low interest mortgage, you pay it off quickly, and your home is worth more than what you spent on it. You made money, right? It's an asset to you at that point once you own it. A car will never be an asset. It will always depreciate. Your home can appreciate. So that's why I don't condone auto loans. I don't condone personal loans because they're charging you interest on money that you borrowed. You can never make money off that, right? So if you're not going to make money off of something, I suggest you don't do it. But because I have a mortgage, am I technically debt free? Yet no, right? So once I get my mortgage, I won't be debt free, but then I have to pay it off quickly in order to be debt free again, right? So right now I don't have a mortgage, I'm renting. So technically I'm debt free, but I have a plan mentally to use my lines of credit that's available to me because I built up a high credit score, right? So I can take advantage of that in ways. Number one, having low interest rate on my mortgage. Number two, definitely getting lower interest rate on my, monthly insurance premiums, and that's another advantage. They check your credit whenever you go to get your insurance, your health insurance, your life insurance, your renter's insurance, or homeowner's insurance, and some jobs they check your credit report and your credit score, because to them that shows whether or not you're likely to pay on time, whether or not you're likely to manage your finances appropriately. Now, is that true? No. But do they look at it and think of it that way? Yes. Because at the end of the day, debt, like how you manage debt is your credit score, not how you manage your finances, not how you manage your money, not whether or not you have a large income or a small income. Literally, your credit score is a debt management tool. And I have to keep saying that because people think that they just praise their credit score. And it's cool if you know how to leverage it. You got to be strategic with how you're going to use your lines of credit. If you're not strategic, do not mess with them. Right? Because there's a thin line between them working for you and them sabotaging you if you are not financially responsible. All right. So number two, con, like we just said, it damages your credit score if you take out lines of credit. At the end of the day, if you are in Macy's or if you are in Zara or whatever, and they have, or Target or whatever, and you know that that's your place where you are tempted to buy everything the moment you walk in that store, and you get a credit card or a store card at that store, guess who's going to be even more tempted because they have money available to them to buy? And then what if something happens and you go through your emergency fund and then you have all this money out there in debt? Guess what? It's ruining your credit score. So you have to be careful. Like I said, get one credit card, one, maybe two, and then get a mortgage loan. If you're going to get anything else, no store cards, no, none of that. Like nothing else, no. What is it, Art Van, where they do the financing for 0% interest, blah, blah, blah. They know you're not going to pay that back. Let's talk about that. A lot of these companies, like if you're going to get new furniture for your home, or if you're going to renovate something in your home, and they'll say, 0% financing for the next 12 months. Statistically speaking, majority of people do not pay that balance back within the course of a year. And how do they make their money? By you paying the interest rates and the interest charges that are like 20, 30%, right? On the money that you spent. Don't do it. If you don't have it in cash, do not do it. Do not use credit cards to extend your purchasing power. Use your credit card as a financial tool. Put $20 on there, pay it off immediately. I mean, I pump my gas. I do one gas fill up a month. And I literally sit in my car after I'm done and pay it off online. And then I leave. Just so I don't forget. I'm not waiting till later, because it's a strategy. Right? And then once I'm done with my mortgage loan, I might not even need my credit anymore. I might even let it go down to zero, to be honest, because I truly will be debt free then and truly will be financially free. And then I'll have the income to just buy whatever I want at that point, because as you get older, as you build your business or your income grows, you'll be able to save faster. You'll be able to do whatever you need to do. If you're married, you'll have 2 times the amount of money to save and things like that. So, just be strategic and be wise about this stuff. And again, as we go forward, we're paying off these things starting next week. We're going to talk about debt repayment strategies for all different types of lines of credit, which is credit card. If you have to pay off student loans, if you have to pay off an auto loan, if you have to pay off payday lender, if you have to pay off whatever you're paying off, we're going through all of them over the course of the month. I want you to keep that in mind because you don't want to end up in that same spot again, right? You want to be conscious about what you're doing. You want to go forward with a financial plan if you continue to use credit and be in debt, right? All right. Number 3, placing yourself, another con of utilizing credit is placing yourself in financial risk, right? So again, if you do not have a solid foundation of cash saved up, and if something happens, right? Stuff happens all the time. You live in the world. Stuff is going to happen all the time that's going to require your income. If you do not have money in the bank to not only handle a financial emergency, but then also pay your debt that you've racked up on your credit cards, or, you just got this auto loan or whatever the case is, you are going to incur late payments, penalties, debt collections, medical bills and collections, things like that. You have to be mindful of that, right? So not only when you are talking about managing debt, whether or not you should have certain lines of credit open in your name, you also need to realize that your emergency fund is going to come into play because it's a backup for you, right? Your credit card is not a backup, right? Because you're going to earn interest, high interest on that if you make a late payment or if you rack up a bunch of money on there and can't pay it back within 30 days. All right. Number 4, it ties up your money for long periods of time. Again, even a mortgage loan. Again, I told you I plan on having a mortgage, and also I have credit cards, but my credit cards never carry a balance. It carries a balance, but for 2.5 minutes when I put the gas cap back on my car. Right? I don't carry a balance. So therefore, I truly am debt free. Even though I have credit extended to me, if I'm not using it, I'm not in debt. I don't get a balance. I don't have a balance, right? So that's why I'm truly debt free. But when you take out a line of credit and when you get in debt, you tie up your money for long periods of time, oftentimes to the point where as years go by, you don't even want the thing that you're still paying on. How many of us know that after 2 years, the car is giving us trouble, it's breaking down, it's old, we done seen something we wanted, something else we wanted, and yet we still paying $300, $250 plus insurance on this car that we no longer want? Or how about you have a personal loan and you or a payday lender loan, or if you got credit card debt, massive credit card debt, or whatever the case is, and you're trying to pay that off. You're like, I don't even remember why I got this loan for. I don't even remember what I put on this credit card, but I'm still paying it off, right? That's the risk you run when you rack up money and you have to pay for it over long periods of time. Right? Because what if in 5 years, God moves and wants you to build a business? But if you're bogged down in debt, what income do you have that's free in order to build a business? Or if you could be a blessing to somebody else? Or if you wanted to move to a different part of the state or the country or out of the country, but you're bogged down with debt for what you did or what you wanted in the moment 5 years ago. Right? And this is why in the financial reset, the first thing that we do together, all of us as a group of women, what we do is we create financial vision, because debt 9 times out of 10 is not in most of your financial vision. But yet the moment you get in the store, the moment you get into a bind, the first thing you turn to is let me go borrow some money. That's not in your vision. So if it's not in your vision, it should not be manifesting in your life, because 9 times out of 10, once you get past that point, you are going to be irritated that you are still paying on a car that you no longer want. You are still paying on credit cards that's racking up interest month after month, medical bills, all these different things. And you're like, man, if I would have planned ahead, if I would have managed my money in a better way, I wouldn't be in this situation, right? So number 5 con, and you can see there's way more disadvantages to having lines of credit and being in debt than it is being out of debt, right? Number 5, you pay more money in the long run, because at the end of the day, anybody who loans you money is expecting some interest for you to pay them back with interest, and that's how they make money. And so they strategically put them payment numbers, 48 months, 54 months, 6-year, 3-year payment plans, whatever the case is, to make them the most money, right? So in your eyes, you're like, oh, this is a blessing. I get to get a loan. I'm approved for a loan. Oh my goodness. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is you getting into debt and you having to pay interest on that debt. And you paying thousands a month or year more, thousands a year more than what you would have if you would have just sat back, had some financial discipline, some delayed gratification, saved up the money, and paid for what it is that you need to pay for. And number 6, which is my last one. Is it my last one? Yeah. Number 6, my last one is God does not like debt. God is against debt. Now, I know the Bible was written back in the day, and he really didn't talk about leveraging debt, and that is a strategy that is happening now, and I'm going to be leveraging debt when I'm buying my first home, and I get it. And debt is not, or being in debt or being out of debt is not a salvation issue. It's not you going to heaven or hell. God don't look at you better, or he's not like, good, well, my child, because you stayed debt free all your life. No, it ain't any of that. But God is a God of warning. He knows, he has wisdom. He sees the beginning of your life and the end of your life, the middle of your life, next month, next year. So he's trying to have you avoid all the cons that we just talked about, right? He's trying to have you avoid all of that by you just staying out of debt. And again, if you have a financial plan and a financial vision on how to get in debt and then quickly pay it off, or how to manage it in a way that works for you, then this is different. But there are people out here who are just desperate, or they're led by their emotion or feelings, and are taking out lines of credit at the store. They're taking out lines of credit at the auto place because they're tired of their car, right? My car busted. I want a new car. I deserve it. I make this amount of money. I want this type of car. And so they go to the dealership and get this car and pay double for it over the next 6 years because they are just led by emotion, right? And God is saying, don't do that, right? Learn how to save, learn how to develop your financial muscle, learn how to practice delayed gratification, pay with cash, because then it's yours. Let's be clear. If you buy a car off the lot right now and you still paying payments, that car belongs to whatever bank or institution that's funding, that you're sending payments to. It ain't yours yet. They got the title. You don't got the title on your name. Right? And I had a hard reality. I'm thinking this whole time when I was paying off my second car, yes, I did it twice, but paid off my car in a year, and then got another auto loan and paid that off in a year. And I was like, anyway, while I was paying off student loans. But anyway, paid off my second car, and they sent me the title in the mail. And I was like, oh my goodness, this whole time I didn't even realize, because I don't know. I didn't know that you really had a title in your name or whatever. I thought it was just like registered in the state that it was your car. So I didn't know you had to have a physical title to truly show ownership, right? And so when Huntington Bank switched over the ownership from them to me, I'm like, this whole time I was paying on this car don't even belong to me. And that's why it gets repossessed. Or your home too. Literally that home is in your name for the payments, but it is not in your ownership. You are not in ownership of the home. The mortgage company or the bank that's backing your mortgage is who owns that property. So until you are not paying any monthly payments on something, you don't own it. Right? You absolutely do not own it. So I am an encourager of ownership. God is an encourager of ownership. He gave you dominion. I think you should take it, right? And just so we're clear, mortgage, don't have a problem with, as long as you have a plan to get out of debt immediately once you get your mortgage, right? Car loan, don't do it. Mortgage is an appreciating asset, which means you can make money off that leveraging of that credit. You cannot make money off of a car. You cannot make money off a personal loan. You cannot make money off a payday lender loan. You cannot make money off a credit card. But what you can do with the credit card is strategically use it to build your credit to where you get low interest rates on your insurances, right? Your life insurance, health insurance, homeowners, renters, whatever. And also get low interest rates on the mortgage that you plan to leverage and then pay back, right? So that's the point of this video. And make sure you head over to bit.ly/the financial reset. The link is in the description, either below or above. And check out what all it comes with it. It's a 6-week coaching program. Enrollment opens on February 20th, and we get started March 1st, all right? So it closes on March 1st, and we get started on March 1st. You get not only the 6-week course that I created that goes over creating your financial vision and goals. Week 2, we do budgeting, how to master your monthly budget. Week 3, we go over how to build savings. Week 4, we go over how to repay debt. Week 5, how to repair and rebuild your credit. Week 6, how to purchase your insurances for a lower cost, right? So I give you the tips and strategies on how to manage your insurance policies to make sure you are covering your new financial freedom, right? All right. I will talk to you guys soon. I hope this helps you. Definitely post in the comments your aha moments, what takeaways you got, what things you learned, what you never knew, what you like, girl, I never thought about it that way, things like that. Post them in the comments. Let me know what you think. All right? Talk to you soon. Bye.